The architecture of the void, when performance replaces presence. There is a specific heavy silence that follows an interaction with someone who is too kind. You feel it in the center of your chest, a subtle, vibrating dissonance that tells you something is wrong, even when everything looks right. On the surface, the exchange was flawless. The words were supportive, the smile was perfectly symmetrical. And yet, you leave the encounter feeling strangely hollowed out, as if a vital part of your energy was harvested rather than shared. For the highly tuned observer, this experience is not an imagination. It is a perception of a psychological vacuum. We are exploring the red giant phase of development, a state where the ego expands its outer surface to a massive, fragile scale because it lacks a dense, integrated core. This manifests as a fake niceness that feels like a wall, and for the one standing on the other side of that wall, the exhaustion is profound. In the study of the psyche, we look at the persona, the mask we wear to meet the world. For many, this mask is a tool for connection, but for the fragmented ego, the mask is a fortress. They become the perfect participant. This is a defensive technology. If they are the most helpful, the most pleasant, and the most accommodating person in the room, they become untouchable. They aren't seeking to relate to you, they are seeking to manage your perception of them. When you are with them, you aren't talking to a person, you are talking to a polished surface. You feel depleted because you are being asked to provide the electricity for their performance, while the actual human being remains hidden, shivering in the dark behind the curtain. Every psyche contains a shadow, those parts of us that are messy, unpolished, and fiercely individual. In the profile of the strategic pleaser, the shadow is dense with a profound hunger for power. Because they cannot own their own agency directly, they deliver it through the medium of their kindness. Have you ever noticed how their selfless acts feel like anchors? This is because their niceness is transactional. In their internal world, every supportive comment or helpful gesture is a deposit into a psychological bank account. They are buying your silence. They are buying the right to remain unexamined. If you do not pay them back with the exact level of gratitude they require to sustain their ego inflation, the mask doesn't just slip, it curdles. You are suddenly met with a cold, sterile withdrawal that feels like a punishment. This is the moment you realize you weren't being loved. You were being recruited into a narrative. We see this dynamic play out in the physical world through what we call reactive productivity. Consider the outer garden, a space that has been neglected for years. For nearly a decade, the weeds have grown and the structure has decayed. Then, suddenly, after a moment of conflict or a perceived threat to the persona, the fragment erupts into a feverish burst of activity. They are suddenly cleaning, weeding, and sweating. To the casual observer, this looks like progress. But to the integrated observer, it feels like another form of chaos. This is not the steady, rhythmic care of a centered soul. It is a guilt-driven expansion. It is an attempt to fix 9 years of neglect in 48 hours. It is an act of violence against the self that leads invariably to burnout. By tomorrow, they will be incapacitated by their own overexertion, and the debt will shift back to you. You will be expected to nurse their exhaustion, an exhaustion they earned by trying to prove they are a good person. When we live in the field of such a fragmented psyche, our own internal world begins to sound an alarm. You may find yourself dreaming of losing your phone, your wallet, your documents. In the language of the unconscious, these are the certificates of the self. To lose your documents in a dream is to feel that your identity is being erased by the chaotic gravity of the person you are with. You are losing your sovereignty. You feel stressed because your symmetry sensor is telling you that you are tethered to a system that has no stable floor. You are worried about the lawn, not because of the grass, but because the uncut lawn is a physical manifestation of a psychological void. We must now distinguish this from your own struggle. For the integrated observer, the one who feels the deep sadness of the world, people-pleasing is not a mask for power, it is a shield for survival. Because you are so highly tuned, you feel the dissonance in the room as if it were a physical weight. You become accommodating because you are trying to lower the effective pressure of the environment. You are trying to heal the air so you can breathe. This is a form of hyper-empathic enmeshment. You are exhausted not because you are performing, but because you are acting as a shock absorber for everyone else's unintegrated shadow. You have been taught that your value lies in your ability to harmonize. But what happens when you harmonize with a lie? When you are nice back to a fake mask, you are violating your own internal symmetry. This is why you lose sleep. Your system is trying to process a paradox. You are being offered a kind act, the garden cleaning, that contains an unkind energy, the guilt and the demand for validation. You cannot resolve this through empathy. You can only resolve it through clinical detachment. You must stop trying to fix the void in the other and start protecting the boundaries of your own center. To the fragmented ego, you are not a separate human being. You are a functional object, a mirror. They perform for you to see a specific reflection of themselves in your eyes. When you stop providing that reflection, when you become real, angry, or neutral, the mirror breaks. This is why you dream of breaking up, even when you are worried about the practicalities of money or survival. Your psyche is realizing that sovereignty is more valuable than security. It is choosing the deep sadness of being alone over the deep chaos of being erased. The path forward requires a positive disintegration. You must allow the nice version of your life to fall apart so the real version can begin. This means letting the garden stay messy if the only way it gets cleaned is through a cycle of guilt and burnout. It means refusing to nurse the exhaustion of someone who overextended themselves to manipulate your opinion. It means standing in the silence of your own truth, even when the other person is loudly performing goodness all around you. To the weary observer, the one who has carried the weight of 1,000 hollow interactions, I see you. I see the exhaustion of being the only one in the room who notices the silence behind the noise. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is the very instrument of your liberation. You are a rare architecture. You are built to hold a light that does not need a stage. You do not need to be the battery for someone else's mask. You are allowed to be cold if cold is what is required to remain whole. Rest in the quiet strength of your own consistency. You are the bridge between the fractured mask and the unified truth. In your refusal to participate in the theatre, you create a sanctuary where the noise of the world finally begins to fade. You are not responsible for the expansion of others. You are only responsible for the integrity of your own center. In that stillness, you find the peace that the theater of the ego can never provide. You are already home. You are already enough.